Hello guys, welcome back to yet another one myself. My name's Aaron, I'm a review bro. Craig has tried this product several times and we are stoked to get a review done on it. It's something we don't normally actually touch on, guys, and it's an Intra workout from a formidable company that has been putting out some seriously stacked products of late. Enigma. Version 2 comes right at us. It's over 30 gram scoop per the go. If you're serious about training, stick on with this one, guys. It's a stacked formula. We're very, very excited to review this one. You know, it is an honor. Taste and mixability of this bad boy. The one we have, pineapple, which is actually the version 1 edition we had. I really, really like that flavour, and Craig did too. So obviously, as you guys know, it is going to taste different, so I'm going to roll through it now. Now look at that, guys. They are not playing. They are not playing games. They are there to take down the competition, as they say. In she goes. That is hefty. Very, very excited to get this done for you. Going to keep 100% honest. Let's do it. Okay, still got that yellow colour, not quite as yellow as the version 1. That is fantastic mixability, considering that is over 30 grams in only about 500 millilitres of water, which I'm not too sure what that is in ounces, but yeah, very good mixability. Honest taste test coming at you. Yeah, it's good. That is good. That is very, very good. To be honest with you guys, it actually tastes very, very similar to version 1. There is a slight difference, however. I would say this tasted more like a real pineapple juice, whereas the other one, as nice as it was, I really loved the version 1 flavour. It was more of an artificial pineapple. There's actually not a lot of difference between those two, guys. I'm still gonna, the version 1 I gave a 10 out of 10. I'm still gonna land on a 10 out of 10 because they are very similar. I would say this is more subtle, more real, like a real pineapple, whereas the other one, like I said, is more sweet. But there's really not a lot of difference between the two, guys. I'd still land that a 10 out of 10. A pineapple for me during a training session is a very good flavour to get down myself. I don't like some of these watermelons or some of these Intras that are out at the moment, and I absolutely 100% wholeheartedly think flavour actually is definitely much more important when it comes to an Intra than a pre-workout. And the reason being is you need to stay hydrated. You want to stay hydrated for your training. I'm telling you now, the last thing you want to be doing is forcing down a drink, because it will kill your thirst. That is what I find for me anyway. And I'm not even the biggest fan of water, so for me to drink water, I'll drink it obviously, but it's not like I'll neck a litre plus of fluid through training. Whereas with that, I could see myself doing that. I could see myself taking that and drinking that with no problems at all. So that is why I think taste is definitely more important with an Intra than any other product. Even probably more than a protein shake to a degree, and the reason being is you just neck your protein shake, don't you? With these Intras, you're not necking these drinks. These are like running the marathon. So honestly, guys, it actually tastes like a real pineapple juice. So 10 out of 10, you can't go wrong. And the mixability is also very, very good. And sorry for rambling on, but that is good. Very good stuff. Okay guys, going to throw up the prices straight away on the screen because I do ramble on a lot in the other sections. I want to keep this one short and sweet. So Apollon Nutrition will obviously stock the USA, UHS Supplements will stock the UK and some parts of Europe, so do check their Instagram pages if you are interested, and their websites too. So obviously what you're seeing on the screen right now is $2.33 per the serving, or £1.61 for the UK. Now bear in mind that is a full serving. So what I do go on to mention is that I personally would only do 3/4 scoops, which would bring my serving size down to about $1.71 or £1.20 per the serving. Now again, when it comes to supplements, that actually sounds quite expensive, and don't get me wrong, compared to other supplements it might well be. But what I do notice is a lot of the time people are happy to buy off Lucozade bottles, Gatorade, Monsters, Red Bulls, you know, you name it, but they'll all cost you know, a couple of dollars at least for a can or a bottle. The same with the UK, it's going to cost you a couple of quid even for some of these bottles. So when you compare the two, it's absolute night and day what is better for you. This formula is an investment more so, because you have to buy a full tub, whereas some people like to buy an individual serving, say for example that Lucozade. So you know what, that is my sort of analogy on this, is it's not expensive when you compare it to products a lot of people do buy. So I actually think it's respectably priced when you consider what's in that label. So yeah, bear all that in mind, guys. Let's move on. Label time, guys. Now, like I said, stacked. So it is one of those 40-20 servings. You know what, there is some controversy behind that. I cannot deny that fact. But it's 20 servings that are fully dosed. Now, what I personally would do, myself, I would do 3/4 scoops and I'd get 30 servings out of this container. That's just me. I don't feel like my physique is super important. I think if I was more into my training than I am, then I would just go for the 20 serves. I'd do full scoops. It really is dependent on how important your physique, your body, your nutrition is to you. And for me, it's a 3/4. So that's what I would personally do. So it's 30 servings for myself. But obviously, if you're doing a whole scoop, it's only the 20. And vice versa, guys. I wouldn't even mind doing half scoops here and there and getting 40 servings out of it. So it really is very, what's the word? Adjustable. You know what, you can make, because it's also transparent on that label, you can make your own decisions very easily, and you can work out exactly what's what. So a thumbs up for the transparent label to start us off. So we start off with calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium and potassium. So they are all important nutrients for muscular contractions, you know, anti-cramps, helping with electrolyte balances, just to keep you going and keeping those muscles contracted. I've always found all of those ingredients will help actually with pumps. So that's why I think they're very important in this formula. They will stop you getting cramps down the line, which after hardcore sessions, guys, especially back and biceps, I always get cramps in the forearms. What I have honestly noticed with this product, and this kind of should be in the effects more than the label, but I've noticed that it helps with those cramps afterwards. It doesn't eradicate them, but it definitely helps. So that is a great start to the label. So there's some good dosages of them in there. Then we move into the interesting bit, and the interesting bit for me is this EAA section. So you've got an EAA/BCAA section, and they are huge amounts, guys. 14.5 grams of EAAs. Off the top of my head, I can't remember another formula where it's one serving to get, you know, that amount. So it is very good. L-leucine, L-isoleucine, L-valine, L-lysine hydrochloride, L-threonine, L-histidine, L-phenylalanine, L-methionine and L-trophan, which, guys, amino acids, especially the essential amino acids, are very important for several reasons. One of the most important ones to me is obviously muscle building. It's obviously the components of protein. So it is going to help with, you know, anti-catabolism. So what I mean by that is, obviously when you're training, guys, you've not had food for, you would hope, at least an hour before your training session. So you're starting to get, you know, you're starting to digest any food, any sugar reserves, any glucose that is in your body. So your body then is running on empty, or empty-ish. So it starts to attack the muscle cell within the body. Now these will become a source of energy use as well. So what I mean by that is your body will start to use those aminos, those essential amino acids, before breaking down all those muscle cells, which is very important for myself and for Craig, obviously, and for yourselves if that's something you're interested in. What I'd say is those essential ones are the important ones. The branch chains, you know what? There's varying evidence as to whether you need them or not. If you have a fully balanced diet, then perhaps they're not as important. But what I will say is the essential ones are the much more important ones, because your body doesn't naturally produce them. And I've often found they're a lot harder to find naturally in the diet. So I do think that is very important. And to get that amount of them is very good for muscle building and to prevent muscle wastage. So a thumbs up there. Then we move into the strength and performance matrix, which is 7 grams. So you can see where these are adding up, guys. L-glutamine and betaine anhydrous. So the L-glutamine's been shown to, you know, promote muscle building, promote a whole host of really good chemical benefits to within the body. So much so, you normally do have to buy that as a standalone ingredient. So the fact it's in here is great stuff. And betaine anhydrous, obviously, as you guys know, helps with strength and power output, as well as endurance in the gym. And that's its standout feature, really. The endurance in the gym is very good. And betaine anhydrous has also been shown to help with pumps. So taking this alongside a pre-workout, perfect combination, isn't it? Wrapping this label towards the bottom, now we have the electrolytes and hydration matrix. Now it's very important to stay hydrated, so thumbs up. Taurine, 2 grams. 2 grams, that's normally double what we see in a pre-workout, so to be taking it alongside, great stuff. Helps with that hydration, and that's something I have noticed with this product. I'll go into that in the effects. Coconut water powder, which will help with, again, staying hydrated. Great product. Calci K is up next. Now that is a trademarked ingredient. Obviously that will be classed as an electrolyte. That is part of the one mentioned at the very top again there. So again, muscular contractions, strength, power output. It's going to help with all of that. And do magnesium malate, which is a slower digestion version of magnesium. But again, link to the top, helps with those muscular contractions and all the good stuff really. So you, like FDN said, like TJ said over there, you are buying into the science. You're not necessarily going to feel a lot of those ingredients like you would say, for example, caffeine or beta-alanine, but they are going to work well when you've got those caffeine from your pre-workout. So bear that in mind. Some great ingredients there. One noticeable thing that I do miss to a degree, but I can understand why it's gone, is that creatine dose. That was obviously at 5 grams in the original, which I liked. But they do a great product called Creatine X, and you can obviously just purchase creatine wherever you want, and you can get that benefit from it there. Whereas some people don't want that water loading, you know, coming into a show. They're trying to get as shredded as possible. You don't want something that's going to, you know, intake all that water and store it in the muscle cells, so you're going to look bloated and your condition isn't going to be as good. So I do fully understand why that has been taken out. So yeah, guys, that is a very stacked label for an Intra. Wait for you guys to show me a better label. But yeah, let's get into those effects. Sorry I rambled on about that label, but it's worth it. It is definitely worth that ramble on. So good stuff. Effects time of Enigma. Now this is obviously more difficult than a pre-workout. I can't deny that sort of thing, guys. For me, there's a couple of reasons why I would want this product, and it's something I will continue to purchase after this tub's gone, because I do care about my, you know, my actual training. Now, I'm going to give you a strength to this for those of you who are on a budget. Now, if I could, you know, I'm getting older now. I'm obviously 28 years old. Muscle building, I've probably got a few more years to go, but I'm getting towards, you know, without sounding too negative, I'm getting towards the end of my muscle building capabilities. Obviously my testosterone levels would have gone down since I was like 18, 19, 20. So for me, this sort of product is very important over a pre-workout. Now when I say that is, if I could reverse 5-10 years, and even now, I probably wouldn't take as many pre-workouts, because honestly guys, they don't really help with muscle building or gaining. If, let's just say I was someone who wanted to compete, which I do one day, I still do, this would definitely be a more important product to me than a pre-workout, as would a protein shake, guys, because these are the sort of things that are going to work in the background to help build that muscle mass. Okay, they may not be a miracle pill or a miracle powder. I'm not saying, you know, they're going to be better than some other enhanceable chemicals, you name it, but I do think this is something that works very well with your diet in terms of keeping you training fully, in terms of you actually being able to gain muscle mass from those EAAs and the other bits and pieces in there. So I do think that a pre-workout sometimes can be detrimental to gains, especially when you're going through those caffeine amounts. There's nothing in there to help you build muscle, it's just a stimulant hit a lot of the times. So you can see where I'm coming from. Pre-workouts to me, obviously I love them, guys. You know I do. But this would help me build more muscle. So for a productive person who truly cares about their gains, this is something that I would consider definitely more important than a pre-workout. if I can afford it as well as a pre-workout, then we're laughing. If I can afford this protein shake, pre-workout, a creatine supplement, and you name it, what else, then we are in business. But I do think this is an important element, Intras, guys. So anyway, that's why I would personally buy this product. Now, for myself, what I actually felt on the product, that's quite important. Hydration, if I felt like it works. I felt more hydrated than normal, not by a huge amount, guys. I'm not gonna absolutely sing its absolute praises in terms of hydration. I drank all the water though. I drank that whole pineapple, the whole serving, because it tasted nice, and it, so I definitely was more hydrated. As well as those electrolytes, that's something I definitely did notice, is my ability to not have cramps at the end of the training session, or more in the night. I get them a few hours, 5-6 hours after training. I used to get some serious cramps, and I do think they did help with that. As well as potentially power output, I've noticed that I've been slightly stronger than normal lately since using this product. Perhaps it's difficult to tell, because this obviously still has a placebo effect alongside it. When you use this stuff, you kind of want to put 100% effort into your training just simply to make the most of this. Kind of like if you was taking a creatine product. I don't know about you guys, whenever I've taken a creatine product, I've always just trained harder, and probably because I know that I'm using that creatine product, I don't want to put it to waste. So this is where it's sort of placebo, but at the same time, there's science behind it. You do train harder on it, just simply because you want to put it to 100% use. I did enjoy using the product, guys. I'm not joking you there. It's more difficult to explain in the pre-workout. You don't feel a huge rush of energy. You don't get dialed in. You don't get the beta-alanine tingles. There's not a lot you truly feel from this, other than it feels like it's being productive in the background. And myself and Craig have always painted that analogy. The important parts, the canvas, the trees, the sky, the rivers. They're your proteins, carbohydrates, your essential amino acids. So they are the important stuff. And then you go down to the little bits and pieces, the electrolytes in this, the pre-workouts, you name it. You need a bit of everything to paint that whole picture and to make it worth some serious cash. And I think that's what this could do. This could turn you into a beast if you keep using it. And that's what I will do, guys. It really does no harm. There's some seriously good science behind all of those ingredients in there. It's more a difficult one to review because, like I mentioned, you just don't feel them as much. But if you're serious about your training, if you want to compete, if you want to compete in other sports, should it be obstacle courses, marathons, your chosen sport, this would help that sort of thing, because you're not leaving anything to chance. You're not risking undernourishment from your diet or anything. This just throws it all there. It just completes the whole package. And that is what Enigma is. It's the package completer. So I'll keep using it. Craig's got a tub of it. We're going to keep using it, guys. We like this sort of thing. And it's definitely more healthy than a pre-workout, let's be honest. So use that information to what you will, guys. I understand this ain't going to be for everyone. But if you're serious about putting on muscle, or serious about your training, serious about being able to go for longer, your endurance, etc., your hydration, this would be for you. So think about it, guys. And guys, thank you for watching along. It does mean a lot to myself and obviously to Craig. Helps the channel grow if you could give us a thumbs up at this point. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this one, guys, we can do more Intra workouts. We can do some other products as well. Apollon have some other products that we are looking to get reviewed at some point. Should it be the fat burners? Should it be the new hooligan that is coming up soon? As well as so many other products, guys. We've got so much. We've got a huge backlog. So we are working our way through that. And you know what? We appreciate you guys for staying tuned with us. Really, really do. So a thumbs up to you guys. And as always, guys, stay hydrated, contractional, pumped, everything with this one. So good package.